Welcome back to Because We Got High with Rhea, Kelly, and Bree. As you can hear, again, it is just me. It's Kelly this time.
It's just Kelly.
I feel like I have to say it because it's like, you know, you can always recognize Rhea's voice. It's obviously not Rhea. She is out for this episode. We have Grace filling in.
O'Malley.
Fabulous.
O'Malley in the building.
O'Malley in the building.
That's how it goes.
For the tea episode of this podcast. But before we get into that, we need to, of course, give a little shout out to OCB Rolling Papers. As always, our favorite papers, the only ones that we use: Champagne France, hemp, bamboo, whatever you want, OCB has you covered. And right now they're doing this thing where if you go to OCB_USA on Instagram and you like the OCB High Hall post, you tag 2 friends in the comments, you can win a lifetime supply of rolling papers. I don't know why not everybody is doing
fucking
this.
sick.
We've been doing these for swipe ups too. Like it's on the Instagram. Like if you follow us on Instagram at Because We Got High, BC We Got High, you will see that we're always kind of talking about this. At least it's me or one of us is doing something like this. I think a lifetime supply of rolling papers is the most absurd thing I've ever heard. And, and all you have to do is like tag your friends and follow it. Like
dude, I got
absolutely
a free
do
life
that.
supply.
Right. And you can win in that way. So if you go to ocbusa.com/high, there's also a link there where you can enter. And if you go there, we also of course have our long running deal of 5 booklets and a rolling tray for $4.99, which is usually like a $20 value. That's outrageous. Again, the rolling trays are adorable. We don't use anything but OCB rolling papers. Like
we smoke, baby.
The cones constantly. The cones have changed my life. They've saved my life. Slow burning. They're fantastic. The fact that from Champagne France makes me feel good. Makes me feel fancy. I know that we all like to feel fancy up in this house. So, like I said, go to ocbusa.com/high to get either of these deals. Really, it's all you need to do.
No brainer.
No brainer. Oh, also wait. And you also must be 21 plus to buy our papers and follow these social accounts. So good luck with that. Cool. All right, let's get into the episode. Teachers, Teachers. I'm excited about this. I want to talk shit about teachers so bad. But
oh my God.
I want to talk shit and then I want to appreciate them equally. Like
I just want to say I never had a teacher like me.
You never had a teacher like you? You were a hated kid. Always.
Yeah, no.
How come? Why do you think that?
I was a chatterbox. I was the class clown, really, is what I was. And so I
see that
ruined
for
everything
you.
they were trying to do so hard.
I see that for you. And I think...
So you were the worst type of student.
Oh, I was the worst.
Everybody hated you as a student. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. Like, I also was a chatterbox. I wasn't so much the class clown. I was very much like, I try to be funny, but there were... The class clowns always, when I was growing up, were kids who would just like cause a ruckus for the sake of causing a ruckus. Like they weren't actually doing funny things. It was always just like they would jump out of their seat or they'd like run around or they like do
just like
dumb
the
shit
class
like that.
like idiot, really.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That was
there's
more
2 types of class clown. It's the person who's trying to get a lot of attention
Right,
and
exactly.
just piss off the teacher.
100%.
Then there's the one that is funny and then people keep laughing and it's
a problem.
then it's a problem.
And then you're a class disruption.
I'd like to be the class too. I'd like to say I was.
Yeah. I think that's an appropriate way to label yourself as that. I wouldn't have thought
Class
that you
2
were
clown.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought you were the one running around in circles in the classroom.
That person needed help at home.
Absolutely. Absolutely, they did need help.
Yeah, they were just begging for attention.
It's so true. Like when you think about that, you think about bad kids in class growing up and how your teachers dealt with it. It was always the kids who like had troubles at home.
Fucking cry for help.
Yeah, it
really.
really
always
was.
a cry for
They're
help.
like, get the fuck out of the
Always a
here.
cry
They
for
don't
help.
even help you at all. And then now they're all in jail.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're all in jail.
Yeah.
They're all doing dumb shit right now. Or they're like, at a place like this where they can talk on a microphone all day long and nobody can tell them that they can't. Like
Yes.
that's the kind of shit you have to channel it into that kind of energy. But I do at the same time, as much as I want to talk shit about teachers, like I said, I also want to make sure that we appreciate them because I cannot think of something in my life that I would want to do less than be a fucking teacher. Oh my God.
I know.
Kids are the worst. And you know who's worse?
worst.
Parents. Parents are the worst.
God.
And I don't want to deal with any of it. Never in my life. But before we talk about them specifically, do you either of you ladies have a teacher in your lives or somebody that has impacted you so much that you like remember their name, they taught you something, and you think about this teachable moment into adulthood?
I have one.
Yeah? What is it?
Shout out Mr. Bixby. He was a good
Mr.
teacher.
Bixby,
He
what
was
a name.
He was the only teacher that like cared and wasn't trying to like change your whole life and narrative. And like he knew
Love that.
everyone was partying and doing their shit. And he was like
How old were
a
you?
friend, senior.
Okay.
He was like a friend, but also like the only English class that everyone enjoyed learning and participated. Like he made it fun and we would all do our homework because like
course.
then it would be a fun class discussion and he wouldn't be like running around like a mom and telling you to shut up and like you can't talk. It was like a fun teacher and he made you enjoy school.
That's a really interesting way to think about it, and I
Only
think
one. I only had
if
one.
teachers are listening, that's a great way to get people to do your shit. Like incite FOMO. Like, oh, you don't do your homework, like whatever, you didn't do your homework, you won't learn it, but also you're gonna have FOMO in this class. Like you can't participate in like the fun shit that we're gonna do, and having it actually be fun. I would do my shit all the time. Missing out of something like an inside joke with the class, I'd rather die. I'd literally rather
I remember
die.
he made us like make these YouTube videos. We had to like Macbeth. Everyone remember reading Macbeth?
Of course.
We had to like pick a scene and then like act it out and like present it to the whole class. But he was like, make it funny, like do characters, and like everyone was so in on it, and it would be like huge on the board, and we'd all watch it and get popcorn and be like, who's is going to be the best video? And everyone would fuck around. It was so fun.
I love that so much. That's such a I love situations like that where it gives kids the opportunity to like be creative if they want, or like be silly. It's almost like an outlet for a class clown or for somebody who like wants to be funny. It's like it's given them a purpose, and they won't get in trouble for like flexing their creativity muscles or whatever. I feel like it's
that's
nice.
where that troubled kid probably had a good time.
100%.
He's probably loving that class.
Right, of course. Loves that class to death. Grace, what about you? Do you have any teachers that really stuck in there?
I'm sitting here and I'm really trying to think.
Yeah?
I want to have one so bad. Only thing that's coming to my mind is I fucked with the lunch ladies.
The lunch
Those
ladies
were so
were always
awesome.
great.
I fucked with
They
our
had
health
my
teacher.
back.
Then he got a DUI.
Oh, fuck.
So
He defended my honor, dude. We got to get into that story.
Oh, yeah.
But you
We'll
talk
get
about
into
your
that.
lunch
Talk about the
ladies,
lunch ladies, because lunch ladies were the fucking truth, and they were also the people that you wanted to be in with. Like you
Oh my
wanted
God.
to be liked by the
Yeah,
lunch
you get
ladies.
like a little free bag of chips, or if
Right,
you owed money.
they'll throw you a little
that.
extra food, a little extra of the like, you know, the pasta with the sauce. Were you guys kids in school that would like always get the hot lunch? Like I was always a hot lunch kid. Like doesn't matter what it was. It could have been the most disgusting food of all time, and I was like, no, load me up. Like,
I'm like, oh, this
whatever
looks
it
like
is.
it's moving. Let me try that.
Yes.
That's gonna be tasty.
Always. And I don't know if like, I mean, my school was not, I went to public school, and it was a very nice school. Like all throughout, first couple years I went to Catholic school, I don't even remember lunch in those places. Like I don't even know if we ate. Like I swear to God, like I can't remember a single meal.
Either. Oh, it was bring your own lunch every day.
I guess, I guess that was the case, and probably it was just a lot of PB&Js.
Pizza day like once a week.
Yeah, pizza Fridays sometimes. Yeah, something like that. But once we got to high school, there was always the full cafeteria, full like, you know, you buy like the 25 lunches for $50 or something, and you just get your thing punch or whatever. And I was always going hot lunch, and no matter what it was, it didn't matter. You could also do like salad bar or whatever, but I was a hot lunch bitch, and I swear it's like shaped me to who I am today. Like I can enjoy great food, but I also won't even blink an eye if it's like trash food. Like I'll be like, oh yeah, whatever, I'm hungry, so I might as well eat it. Yeah, I'll do whatever.
In
fake meat.
elementary school, we had Domino's pizza every Friday, and
course.
it was like I looked forward to it every Friday. I guess I like thrived during lunchtime.
Yeah, I was like, that was your
that was my
spot.
jam.
It was
No,
your
but this is
comfort
crazy.
zone.
It was like third grade, and they got rid of it. And
Fucked up.
so I
lost your
woke
mind.
up so early in the morning one day before school, made a bunch of pieces of paper and wrote a bunch of lines so people could sign a petition to bring it back.
Oh my God.
And I
Did
put it
work?
on my principal's desk, and I never heard a word about it.
Oh
But
my God.
I was in third grade trying to form an alliance with the kids, and I thought everyone was going to be in on it.
No one cared?
No.
That's crazy that no one cared.
It was crazy. It was even crazier because some people were like, why would you sign something without knowing what it is? And
You didn't tell
we're
anybody?
in
Oh my
third grade
God.
and stuff. No, I'm telling people what it is, but people are like, well, I don't get it. Are we going to get in trouble for going
Right,
against
right.
what we were supposed to eat for school lunch? So people started coming up to me and they're saying, yeah, you got to get my name off that list. I'm like, no, I need your name on that list. I need that
What
pizza
the
back,
fuck?
dude.
Damn, never got it back.
What's the problem with all these like pussy ass third graders? They want to be like in trouble with the man.
Pizza day was,
like
like
what
the
do you?
coolest thing ever.
Dude, I don't know.
I would have lost my fucking
unionize.
mind. I would have. I would have done that same shit. No bullshit. I would have done the same shit. That's like that would have been absolutely detrimental to like my health in general. Like if I walk in, I expect Pizza Friday. I want a fucking Pizza Friday.
It was detrimental to these children's health. It was
course.
when we
Right.
had the new lunch lady.
Michelle Obama.
Yes.
Oh shit! I was like, is this Obama times?
This is Obama time. So
we were
I was
not.
like, I was pissed. I'm like,
Luckily for me,
Everything was, like, gluten-free.
Michelle Obama. I was a senior. No, I was a senior. He was elected what? November 08.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I was a senior. And so after that, it like there was maybe a couple of changes in the lunchroom, but I never had to deal with like Michelle Obama's healthy lunch. Like I always had shit like just
It was
full
crazy
fat always.
when lunch
was
switched
out of
up.
control.
Like,
Yeah, what
it
what
was
happened?
riots. Like people were like, "What the fuck are we gonna eat? What is this bullshit?" They took away all the good chips. They put all the baked chips.
No, I'd be so
The
pissed.
cookies were like made with less sugar.
No.
there was the milk was like fake. It was so
The
crazy.
pizza was wheat.
Yeah,
No, no, no,
wheat
no.
pizza.
No.
All sweet potato fries instead of regular fries. No tater tots anymore.
Oh, and
it was
you went
fucked.
to high school when soda wasn't banned for life.
Oh, we
right?
know
it was,
soda in school.
It wasn't banned for life, but it was kind of like on because we had Bloomberg over in New York making a big fucking deal about the big gulps, and so everybody was like, "We should think about soda here too." And meanwhile, I was like drinking my Dr Peppers, like pry it out of my cold dead hands. Like
They
as
showed
if.
us Super Size Me. I don't know, maybe 7 times.
Same.
Oh my
7
God.
times.
And
every
endless-
year, every health
What
class.
year did that movie come
Super
out?
Size
I need to
Me.
see because we saw it every year. But when it first came out, 2004, so I would have been in like 8th grade going into 9th grade, and I swear to God, Super Size Me. It would make me crave McDonald's. Like we would watch it. It would have the opposite effect. Like they'd be like,
know.
"Oh, you should be so grossed out," and half the classroom would be like, "Ew, gross." Like I would never even get McDonald's. And meanwhile, I'm texting my mom at the table like, "Can we get McDonald's like after school because I'm watching Super Size Me again."
I remember
Like,
the
must
chicken nugget
have.
thing though. Everyone freaked out.
Yeah, I
It was
know.
With
like-
the pink, like
Yeah.
the pink
And, like-
goo is chicken nuggets. I still am like, whatever, man. Like that shit is so
I was
good.
like, Tim, no, I didn't fuck
Like
with
how
it
do
anymore.
I buy that pink goo in bulk so I can just like have it at my house?
God,
Like what
it's
can
so
I do?
bad.
You know what we used to do? Sometimes for like friend parties, like my mom's friends from work, one of her friends' husbands, like I think he's like the manager of a few like McDonald's chains. Like he has some sort of involvement with McDonald's in the way that he can get huge like trays full of McNuggets. So we would have like these parties and there'd be like 2 trays like underneath the sternos like full
Yeah.
of McNuggets, and I would just go to these parties and I wouldn't eat anything but I'd eat 50 McNuggets. I'd be like,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna all day long I'm just gonna eat this. And I was
That's
an adult,
a
like I
phenomenal
wasn't
person to know.
yeah, no, it was great. And I wasn't
that's a
like
good
young at that
match.
time. I was just like, no, all I'm eating today are McNuggets. I don't know how do you think that teachers dealt with kids freaking out about food like that? Because I don't know if I could. Like if I had kids coming up to me, complaining to me, I think I would just be like, listen, man, I don't fucking know. Like
No,
get out of my
lunchtime,
face.
they just all of my teachers in high school disappeared. That was like their I don't
True.
care. You do your own thing. Come back after lunch. Sit down. We learn.
Yeah, lunchtime. No teachers at all.
No, it was
No.
like gym
Just like-
teachers would like.
There were a
Yeah.
couple. There were like some.
surveillance, the
There were like some
principal.
aides walking around
Yeah.
that would like keep the peace a little bit.
But
like,
did they?
never.
They never
no,
really
never
did
once.
they?
Never once.
Gave,
I was
gave some girl a window to just jump me.
100.
So I got
Yeah.
that.
You got jumped at
Yeah.
lunchtime?
I got jumped at lunchtime. It was
Grace.
crazy hat day.
What the fuck
It
is
was
with you and
awesome.
lunch? Lunch is like a pivotal moment of your life. Like
Crazy. Yeah.
that's
But
nuts.
This is actually pretty crazy. This is all lunch all the time.
yeah.
that is.
Subject is teachers.
But it's like,
the L
but
episode.
who knows? Like the lunch ladies were your teachers. Like that's your equivalent. And it's nice. It's nice that you respect them. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no. So I respect the hell out of lunch ladies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
love them.
Yeah.
I had a couple teachers that I remember not so. I remember them for what I was taught at the time, not necessarily for their like personalities, but a bunch of my 7th grade teachers were really, maybe I just was like paying extra attention in the 7th grade because like I had my English teacher, Mr. DiGiacomo. He is the one that taught us the Odyssey, the story, whatever. And I feel like we were too young to be like reading the Odyssey or, whatever. And I was obsessed with it. And I became really obsessed with Greek mythology after that. So I like owe him for that. Like that was cool.
Oh, yeah, so he
We
showed
did
you
like,
what-
yeah,
a
we
new
did like
thing.
popcorn reading about the Odyssey,
Yeah.
and he did a good job of explaining it so it didn't sound so bizarre. Like when you try to read the Iliad, it's like you're reading a different language. Like it's bizarre speak. And we would always read a bunch, and then he would break it down and explain it like line by line. And I was like, this is so comprehensive for me, and I love it. And so I loved that for him. Same year, I had this woman, Miss Miller, who she was a raging bitch, just like a total cunt, and she always had a cup of coffee that she would have like red lipstick on, but it wasn't red lipstick like like Taylor Swift. It was that old kind of red lipstick that like old ladies wear, that it looks pink when it gets off
Yeah.
on
Oh,
everything.
yeah.
It was that kind of shit.
She's on
She
a
had this
teacher's salary though. Like, come
well,
on.
exactly. So I'll get into that. I wrote down some teacher salaries because these bitches do not get paid enough. But so she would have this huge coffee cup and she would just constantly put her lipstick all over it. I swear she would like reapply just to take sips. Like it was crazy. She was older. But now thinking back, like at the time it was like another English kind of class. It was called Connections was the name of the class. And so it was like reading comprehension and like literary findings. I don't know. Weird shit. And I was into the stories and into all the stuff we did, but she was so rude to everyone in the class, like in a sarcastic way. Oh. And at the time I was like, you're just a bitch. And then like over time I was like, wait, you're actually very funny. Like you're sarcastic and rude, but I am into it. Like I realized like that's the kind of humor that I actually like. And once I started realizing that that was her vibe, and other people kind of did too, we all started like loosening up and not thinking she was like a total bitch anymore. And I would kind of say stuff back, like be sarcastic back and get like laughs out of her. And that was the best. Like if you could like do like a snippy something. And I swear to God, like my sense of humor is because of this bitch. Like I swear. Later on, in later years, my brother went to the same schools as I did, but he's 7 years younger. So he was like, I don't know, probably 8th grade. And we had to go pick up a book from his locker or something. And I was driving and I like came back to walk the halls of my old middle school. And it was summertime or like June. And I had shorts on, and my entire school career, I have gotten in trouble for my shorts being too short because I have long legs and I'm tall and I'm small. Me too. You can't.
Teacher called me
shorts
a whore.
Are small. Yeah, always. Shorts are small, you're always in trouble.
I got kicked out of student council because I wore V-neck shirts because nobody else had boobs.
No, it's crazy.
It was crazy.
The dress code stuff is insane with school when school is concerned. But
There's
the
like
shorts
no dress
thing was
codes
nuts.
anymore. It's insane.
It's nuts. But so I was walking around with my brother. We were doing kind of like a little tour. We ran into Miss Miller and she was walking around, didn't recognize me, my brother never had her, so he didn't know her. She she saw us from behind, yelled at me, was like, oh, those shorts are a little short. I was like, bitch, I'm an adult. I go to college. Like I can wear these shorts if I want to.
That's crazy.
What are you talking about? And I was like, you know what though? Right. She's right where I left her. You know what I mean? She's exactly the same.
She'll never change.
No, she'll never change, and I'm happy to hear it. So shout out to her big time. And then one last shout out to my 3rd grade teacher, Miss Balin, because she read us Harry Potter in class. And
you
that
love Harry Potter.
I mean, that changed my life.
That
so
is awesome.
Love her for that.
Okay, we're talking about Kelly's teacher with the red lipstick, the cheap red lipstick.
That cheap ass red lipstick.
Always drinking her coffee and getting stains everywhere. I wonder if she was drinking that good old Black Rifle coffee.
Ooh, I bet she was. If I remember
coffee?
correctly, Mrs. Miller loved Black Rifle coffee.
I bet she did. Black Rifle Coffee Company. It's veteran-owned coffee. So what they're all about is supporting the police, supporting veterans, supporting first responders. They're all about that. They're really, really good. They go out and they donated more than 6 million cups of coffee Cups of coffee to deployed soldiers, law enforcement, medical workers through their signature buy a bag, give a bag, which is actually really awesome.
It is awesome.
So
and
you buy a bag
that's a lot
and
of
you're
coffee.
giving it.
That's a lot of coffee.
6 million?
The vets need coffee. They need to stay awake. They need to stay alert.
Yeah,
they need the
please.
coffee.
We got to keep them doing their fucking job
Keep
with
'em
Black
up.
Rifle. So if you buy a bag, they get a bag. And I mean, Jesus, if they've given 6 million cups away, they're popping. So
They are on and popping.
it's clearly good fucking coffee.
And I'm sure they appreciate every single drop.
Yeah, 100%. So they import high quality coffee beans from all over the world and roast 5 days a week at their facilities. That's a lot. 5 days a week roasting.
5 days a week. Damn. That's more than I work.
I know. They're fucking killing it. So go to blackriflecoffee.com/high, use code HIGH today and get the freshest coffee in America shipped straight to you.
But I was curious about teachers' salaries. Like you said, they never get paid enough. A starting teacher salary, and I don't even know how true this is just what Google is telling me, is around $57,000 a year, starting salary. If you have a master's degree with no experience, it's around $65,000. And if you have a master's degree and experience, it's like $87,000 a year. None of that
Base
seems
should be like 100.
I mean,
It
that's
is,
fucking
like,
crazy,
That's
right?
so fucked
That
up.
is
Okay,
insane.
no. Our 7th grade history teacher, she got bullied so fucking bad.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Really?
she got bullied
what?
to the
For
point
what?
where people would tell her that she looked like a horse.
Damn.
And she like
She
foamed
did.
at the mouth
Sarah
a little.
Jessica Parker feels the same.
But she wasn't mean. She was just trying to teach. And
She was
people
just
would
a little weird.
throw things at her. And
Throw things?
She, one class, me
The
and Grace were in a
disrespect.
fight. No.
Oh my God, my mom would shoot me in the face if she ever heard that I threw something at a teacher.
The class scared her so bad into falling. She fell and smashed into her desk, smashed her head. And me and Grace weren't friends at the time. And we were in the same history class because we were fighting. And that fall brought us together. We were like, we look at each other and we're just like, oh no. And like people would throw things at her, scream at her like horse face, fuck you. Every time she tried to speak, like she wasn't allowed to speak. Everyone had like an F, but she passed everyone because she was scared to be bullied. Like it was so fucked up.
And we just like realized this the other day.
Yeah.
Like, how fucked up it was.
Well, it's because
history?
it was history, but in
So
our
boring.
specific history class, at least, we had all the bad kids.
Oh, all
in
the
it.
kids.
Of course.
All the
There was
kids that we
always
were
a
just talking
class like
about.
that where like you would know like this is the class where shit's about to get buck, and it was
Yeah.
always like a history or a
felt
social
so bad,
studies or
yeah.
English, like where you don't have to get like slapped with the wrong answers. I feel like it was harder to act up like in a math class because it was
Yeah.
like, oh, you have to pay attention or else you're fucked.
And they never shut up about
yeah,
the
they
math
never
thing.
shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
I hated my math teachers. Hated them
math.
My
so
seventh
much.
grade math teacher took my phone for the whole year and now he's like my neighbor in my neighborhood and like won't wave to any of us. And I'm
What
like,
the
dude,
fuck?
we ran this neighborhood and you're just coming in and acting like you fucking own it.
Yeah,
you're
you
like
just,
a
come
little
through
late.
with all of that disrespect. Like I'm gonna disrespect you right
Oh,
back.
He's such a dick.
That's
Still
so
is.
fucked up. That's so fucked up. Wow, I can't believe this bullying of the teacher. There were
It was mortifying.
Can you imagine how she felt like
No.
getting ready for our class? To
No.
come
how
in?
old do you think
must
she
have
was?
sat there. She was young.
She was like
She was just
35.
like,
Fuck.
Yeah.
And she was just so.
And then her
nervous.
name changed because she got married
Yeah?
and no one wanted to respect that. And everyone called her by the old name. It was so mean and sad. It was so fucked up.
And
That is
she
so
was the
crazy.
track coach, and she was also the horse teacher. So everyone.
No, stop. No,
it
stop.
was just. It was.
It's just a perfect
terrible.
storm of bullying. You know what?
Yes.
Kids are so fucking mean.
Yeah,
I
that's
see kids
where I'm
on the
like
street.
$50,000 a year for
No.
that.
Yeah.
No way. No way.
I'd
The people who
collect unemployment.
choose to do it, you have to be insane or you have to be like just really caring about the future of this world. And
Middle
I'm glad you
school
exist. You know,
specifically, like you can't. What the fuck? Go
Forget
do
it.
high school or elementary.
I don't know what it is in
I
middle
feel like high
school,
school would
but
be
it's
better.
like
Yeah.
cutthroat.
Yeah.
with
It's
these
crazy.
kids.
Middle school is the scariest. When I see kids walking around, and especially city kids, like when you see city kids walking around, I'm fucking terrified of city kids. I found out
I'm
recently.
scared of kids. Yeah.
100% scared of them. They walk around in packs. They're gonna kill me.
They're
like
gonna
I
say
know
something.
They're, gonna bully
make fun
me.
of you,
Yeah.
and it will hurt. Like,
Right,
And
exactly.
they're all just
My
together,
boy-
all in on it, and
Exactly.
you're just there.
My boy John Mulaney has a joke about it. He's like I'm afraid of walking past all the high school kids or the middle school kids who get let out because they throw insults at you that'll like really hurt your feelings that are the truth. Like, and he does an impression. He's like, ha ha, look at that man. He's got high waisted feminine hips. And John Mulaney's like, that's something I'm sensitive about. And
Yeah,
it's like
they'll hit
that's
you
the
where
kind
it
of shit,
fucking hurts.
right?
They
And I
want
can't.
to.
That's like when I got in like a fight with
pleases them.
right. I got in a fight with like trolls online one time from Brazil, and they were telling me that I had dry hair. They were like, "Oh, your hair's dry." Like that
Oh
was
my
like their big
God.
insult, and I was like, "Fuck, my hair is dry." Like
That's
I
like
haven't-
very specific.
so specific.
and
I was like,
hurtful.
and I know you can see that in my photos. Like I
Yeah.
know that you were like, "Oh, look at this dry hair bitch." Like
Yeah,
that's
they're
what
not
these
just
middle
like you're
school
ugly.
kids-
They're like, no, your hair is fucking
Right.
dry.
Like
and
something that
I
I'm
can
that
see
I'm
your
genuinely
pores.
worried about.
I would like, oh yeah,
No, I would
middle
die.
school kids are fucked.
You have so many blackheads. I'd be like, "Fuck, I do."
Yeah.
I'm really trying to get a facial soon. Fuck.
Yeah, no, middle school makes you hate yourself. Even like the boys. Like I remember we have that one kid that just
That one
ruined our
kid,
life.
yeah.
He bullied every girl into hating themselves, and now he's just like a fat, disgusting lard of a human. And we're like,
course, of
fuck
course.
you, dude. He was so evil.
He said
That's
things
probably
that
why.
are still there for both of
Oh
us.
yeah, no, yeah,
Like,
seriously.
Crazy.
100%. Do you think that that bullying of teachers or like the lines of respect are kind of blurred now because of social media? I feel like when I was in school, obviously social media like wasn't a thing, but if we ever like knew about things that our teachers were doing outside of school, even though they were young, like they were probably 20s, 30s, 40s, like they were not that old. And like I have peers right now that are that same age where I'm like, I can't imagine you being a teacher. But I feel like if we ever found out something about them outside of school, it would be like, ooh, whispers in the hallway, whatever.
Oh, totally.
And now, obviously, like think about all of your friends that are your age or my age who are teachers and like have Instagrams and like put up Instagram stories and like their kids probably have TikToks and like they have TikToks.
They have
and,
TikToks. A
you know
lot
what
of
I mean?
teachers on
A lot of
Yeah.
teachers do.
TikTok.
And like,
I
do you think
there's like a fine line with that? I feel like.
I totally agree.
I'm like,
but-
do principals get mad?
Yeah.
Right. Like, do you think that it's maybe made it easier, or maybe given like, you know, maybe kids respect their teachers more because they're on like more of a human level? Like, I feel like when I was in school, it was like, oh, they're my teachers, and that's it. Like, I don't have
They have
to.
no lives.
Yeah,
Right. They have
do
no
not
lives.
exist outside of
They're
these
robots.
walls.
They sleep in this classroom.
And if
Like,
you
that's
see
it.
them in real life,
Oh, it's
forget it.
fucking crazy.
It's crazy. You run
it's
away.
like seeing
I'm
a celebrity that you hate.
We
It's
saw
nuts.
our high school, our freshman history. History teacher.
Oh my God, yeah.
We saw our history teacher when we were at the St. Patrick's Day parade senior year.
Oh, no.
Blacked out of our mind.
No.
He has his scally cap on. We're like,
I dapped him up.
we were like, what the fuck is this?
No.
This is sick.
And he's like, yeah, no, okay.
He was like,
no
I
more
can't.
of this.
Yeah, he's like, not right now, not right now. Like,
And
let's,
we're all doing the same
Three
thing.
of our
Yeah,
friends
let's
are in
all
like
pretend we're not
custody
doing
with
this.
the police. It was so scary.
of course. God damn it.
And then you realize they're like people, and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
what the fuck? Why were we so mean to them?
That's what I think. Like I now know as an adult, like, oh yeah, my teachers were people, and I was never rude to teachers. I was very afraid
never
to be
was
rude
either.
to teachers.
No, me
like
neither.
I
Unless
was
they were mean.
Except I had this one teacher, and she can fucking kick rocks. She had it out for me, but that's another thing.
There are teachers that have it. I also have a teacher that I fucking
Yeah.
hated, but I was too young to really like buck back. But I think
Yeah.
I would have if I were older. What'd she do? Tell us.
I said some fucked up shit.
Oh, you did?
She, from the moment, so she was our assistant principal. So she wasn't even a teacher. She was just the assistant principal.
What
Damn,
year
okay.
is this?
This is when I was at the school without you.
Oh.
Damn. Okay.
We
you weren't there.
I transferred out of her high school freshman year.
Got it.
So this is junior, senior year. She had it out for me. I don't know what it was. And she would call me into her office all the time, give me detentions. Like, I got suspended. I guess I was kind of a bad kid. I don't know.
Yeah, I was like, all signs point to like maybe you're a little bit of a rebel rouser.
You didn't do any work. You had a 1.5. You were in
Oh
like,
yeah, I
all the
graduated high
special
school with a
classes.
1.59.
That's fucking nuts.
Yeah.
Was shit going on
I
at home?
was the worst.
I was like, Grace, was shit
It was
going on
as
at
soon
home?
as I
Be
got to
honest.
that other school though. But
Oh yeah.
I always
Well, you're probably sad.
yeah, it sucked. But
Yeah.
anyways, this lady, she had it out for me. She hated me. And then one day I found out that she is somehow connected through family friends. And I found out something terrible about her father.
Oh,
and
no.
I brought it up when she was yelling at me
no.
once. I hit her with, yeah, how's your dad doing at the bar every day? Like one of those things.
Damn,
and
great.
God.
it made her shut up.
I mean, yeah, I would hope so.
I had her.
What did she
crazy.
do?
I had
Did she do
her.
anything, or did she just like
She-
stop speaking?
She
I
just
don't know what I would do.
She probably plotted your fucking demise right
Yeah,
there.
definitely.
Yeah,
definitely.
she was probably looking for reasons for me to not graduate, which I already almost wasn't graduating.
Right.
And yeah, she definitely hates me.
Yeah.
Oh, and then she came recently during COVID because my sister graduated high school, like when COVID happened, and they had like this plaque that they wanted to give her, like her
Okay.
diploma and
Sure,
stuff, whatever.
Oh, your
But
sister.
yeah, my sister.
I thought you meant this
sister.
bitch teacher. I was like,
no,
fuck her.
no, I think it was her cap and gown. They were like
I see.
hand delivering cap and gowns because it was like a weird time. And she chose to come to my house and give it to my sister. And she goes, oh, where's
What?
Grace?
Shut
And I'm
up.
hiding in the hallway. And my little sister goes, she's in the hallway. Do you want me to go get her? She's like right here. I'm like, oh my God.
Did you
What
say
the
hi?
fuck?
No. No, I didn't.
I mean, I
come
wouldn't
out.
go to the door. I'd be like, no,
No.
fuck you. What do you want to say hi to me
No,
for?
I mean,
mean,
teachers like that scar you and you hate them
I
so
hated
much.
her, and I also felt really bad for saying what I said because it was a lot
I mean,
worse
of course
than
you
I'm
feel
saying right
bad.
now.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm sure. And you feel bad, whatever. But at the same time, like, especially when you're young like that, and you look at teachers in a way of like, you're supposed to be on my side. You're
Yeah.
supposed to be
Yeah,
like,
why do
not
you
my
hate me?
friend, but you're supposed to want me to succeed. Like
Yeah.
me succeeding makes you look good. So why do I have to feel like you are against me and everything I'm doing? And it's a shitty feeling. And sometimes you get fucking pissed. Like, how
is
old were
a
you?
shitty
What, like
feeling.
17 at the time?
Yes, and you're like
So you say mean shit when you're 17.
And
We just
you're,
were
like,
talking about that.
at school for 8 hours every day. That's like
constant.
a long time.
Yeah.
And
It's
you
a
just
lot.
want-
I'm sure she like, I bet that she was probably hurt by what you said, but also maybe it was a reality check. Like, oh fuck, like yes,
affecting these
I'm
children.
I'm a flawed person as well. I
She's
need to be
turning
like
into a
easier on these
monster.
kids.
Yeah.
yeah. Like, look what I'm doing. Like, look what my meanness is doing.
Yeah.
I don't even know. Did you guys ever have teachers that you had like a relationship with that almost felt like motherly or like older sister or something like that? I have
Never
one as an
close with any of my
example.
teachers.
I wasn't
Even the
either.
teacher I liked, I wasn't close with.
I have one as an example, and I don't think I thought it was weird at the time, and I still don't actually think it was weird, but I do remember it being like a little bit of a problem in class. I was in the first grade. I don't even remember my teacher's name, but she was so cute and so cool. She was probably like 24, like she was so young, and she was just really sweet. And I was always finishing my work kind of fast because I don't know, I just, not that I was smart, I would just like rush through it and
Yeah.
like panic about not having enough time to finish it. And it turns out I had like a lot of time. So I would always afterwards like go up to her desk and she would let me play with her hair. Like she would always let me like brush her hair and like braid it
Kelly, that's
and like put it in.
different.
it's weird, right? Thinking back, I'm like, that was strange. And then other
You were
girls,
doing your homework so fast.
I mean, I was like, oh, well, because I got to like hang out with her. It felt like I was gal palling around, and I was an only child at the time. Like I didn't have a brother yet, and not that that mattered. I mean, my brother wasn't braiding his hair.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It was like a weird, like older sister is how it felt.
Okay.
And I remember at first, like I don't know why. I don't know how it started. I don't know how it started. I started like braiding this bitch's hair. I don't know how.
You put her hair back.
I think I like got one of those.
Crazy.
I think
How does that start?
it is now that I'm saying it out loud. It is really crazy.
I wonder
It's
if there was
so
like kids
weird.
that were like jealous. Like, oh,
No,
here
So
goes
they
Kelly.
were
100%.
So
I
that's
would
why it
be
became
so
a problem.
jealous.
That's why it became a problem because there were so few girls in my class. Like again, that was the time I was in Catholic school. Was kindergarten to second grade, and it was like it felt like I was in a different realm. Like that was my life is so different now. But the first grade, I think there were 5 girls in the class, and the rest it was maybe 20 kids total. 5 of them were girls. The other girls were like pissed and jealous, and then they would start coming up. Also, they would like finish quickly, come up too, and we would have to like take turns like brushing her hair. And then there was like a line of girls like.
Oh my
All of us
God.
trying to do it. And then finally she had to be like, all right, girls, like it's too much, like blah, blah, blah. And she was really nervous that she was like going to get in trouble for that.
Yes,
And now
all the
thinking
students
back, I'm like,
brushing her
yeah,
hair.
that is a little weird.
I'm picturing like
It must have just felt
she's
great when
like
she was like brush it.
Cleopatra, and you
Yes.
guys are all like,
No, it literally was like we were obsessed with her. Like she was just like so pretty and cool and smart, and we like she let us like braid her hair. Like it was bizarre. But I think it stems from I don't know if you guys ever had this, like the book of braids. Like it showed you all the different kind of braids you could do. Shit was weird before the internet. Like I don't know. I was just doing like I got a book of braids from like my mom or somebody. It was just like how to do different types of braids. And I would just like do them on myself all day long. And I'm pretty sure I brought it to class and was like showing it to my teacher, and she let me. Like I think that's how that kind of started.
See, that's
But it became a
more
weird
reasonable.
problem.
Then it got out of control.
It got out of control, and it got really fucking weird.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But
different.
yeah, so I guess a relationship like that. Like, have you guys ever braided your teacher's hair? Because that was probably a weird thing that I did.
No, because nobody has anything like that.
No, definitely not.
Brianna fucked a teacher
but
though.
So weird. Oh shit, Brie, you fuck one?
No, but fucking, I feel what you say when you went to the Catholic school and it was like a different realm because there was
Yeah.
only 12 kids in like my whole entire grade.
Right, it was so small.
We were like so close to the teachers. They knew about our personal lives. Like they would bring their husbands in and we would like,
Yeah.
it was like weird. So
It felt like we were their
it
kids.
makes more sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I remember one time it was my kindergarten teacher and we were at like a pep rally or whatever. Like in the morning we were praying or whatever, and she had like a diabetic attack. Like she fainted.
Yeah, like low blood
And
sugar. Yeah,
all
yeah.
of us were like crying and we were like, we have to go to the funeral. We have to call mom. Like we thought she was like dying, but it was like our mom and our savior. Like we loved her
Right,
so
of
much.
course.
Miss Conley. And no, she was fine. She just needed like a Snickers or something.
Yeah.
But we were like,
She's
planning
like a
her funeral.
Gatorade.
Yeah, we're like praying to God that she makes it out alive.
Shit.
Can you guys remember the names of every teacher you've ever had?
I used to put a lot of like pressure on myself to remember teachers forever, and I think at some point I was just like, I need to make room in my head for more song lyrics. Like I can't
think I
remember all
can.
these teachers' names anymore, and
Because
so
I feel
they like got the boot quick. Like I remember a good chunk, but not all.
I feel like a lot of people can.
I feel like a lot of people can too, and it makes me wish that I like didn't throw out all those memories because now I feel like I should know these things, and
Well,
I
they're
don't.
interchangeable characters in your life.
Right.
That you have for, you know them for like, what, a year?
Right. And I could definitely recognize them all by face. Like if you were to hand me a yearbook and be like, point out all the people that were your teachers, I definitely could.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
don't think I could name them anymore.
think
That makes
I
me
could.
kind of sad. How
is
shitty
kinda
does that
sad.
feel from a teacher's perspective?
know.
Like,
I know.
like, oh, I could probably recognize your face, but I know
Yeah.
nothing about like how you molded my mind for
I
a few
know.
years. Like that feels like a big fucking
Or
insult.
like imagine you can remember most, but there's that one teacher you're like, yeah, no, don't remember you at all.
Yeah,
That's,
yeah.
That hurts.
Yeah, but do they
Completely.
remember you? Probably not.
True.
Yeah,
like
no
they,
way.
they
No
teach
way.
they teach
They
so
have
many
too many.
kids.
I'm
Teach
sure they
so
remember
many
their
kids.
like little favorites.
And then
course.
you recognize them, and they're like, "Oh, you!"
Exactly,
It's like when you meet someone
always.
at like a bar, and they come
Yeah.
out like in daylight.
Yeah,
You're
like, hey, how's it
you?
going?
How are you?
Yeah.
Like, we had so much
trying to get context clues out.
Exactly,
like, oh,
exactly. Yeah. How's
what
the
year?
family?
Yeah.
Yeah. Weird shit like that. How about male teachers versus female teachers? What do you guys like more? I can't decide to this day. I can't decide if I liked my male or female teachers more.
I had more mean female teachers,
It's fair.
but I
Yeah.
had more female teachers. So
Yeah.
I think the spectrum's a little skewed there.
I think I had like a perfect 50-50 like on teachers. Like I had a lot of male and a lot of female. But
Actually, I hated a lot of guy teachers too.
I feel like the guy teachers that I hated were all the like older, like crotchety ones, like the ones that were like, you know, so intense or like math. Or, It's
Yeah.
always fucking math related. Like, and that's
Yeah.
not solely because I didn't like understand math. Like I couldn't do. I'm terrible at math. I have to add on my finger still. Like I'm
Me
so
too.
stupid
I
with
had a lot
it.
of stupid teachers though that
Yeah.
didn't
Yeah.
know how to teach. Like a lot of my math teachers were stupid.
Yes.
Our freshman year,
Well, I stopped learning math
yeah,
in
well,
7th
yeah.
grade
Just literally
because of this
stopped.
teacher.
Yeah, that teacher just didn't teach. She would give us a book. She had a student teach a class once. It
Yep.
was just crazy.
She would let us all play with like stuffed animals, and we're in
Yeah.
7th grade. But like
bizarre.
in
No,
7th
freshman
grade,
year
I
of
didn't
high
know
school.
you. Oh, freshman year of high school.
Yeah.
Oh, see, I was checked out.
Yeah.
I was checked out.
It was
by
about
then.
that time. It was about that time.
Yeah.
I have a friend who, one of my very best friends, used to be a teacher, is no longer. And I asked her, because she used to tell us like insane stories. She was a teacher in Baltimore, so of like elementary school, like very young. And I asked her to give me like a couple of highlights, her favorite stories. I wanted to see what you guys think about them.
Okay.
One, she had a student who she had to take away his school computer because he was looking up big booty hoes all the time in school.
Oh my.
Which, like, what do you do
That
as a
is
teacher? What
very
the fuck do you do in that
specific.
situation? That, like, right? Very specific.
It just keeps happening. The
right.
big
Like,
booty
it's
hose.
only
hose,
big booty
big booty
hose. Like,
hose.
that's all he wants to see
You have
is
to
big
sit
booty
him
hose.
away from all the big booty hoes in class.
right. Yeah, like, God forbid there's a big booty hoe. Like, my friend
Yeah.
is, like, kind of a big booty hoe. Like, she's gotta watch her
Oh,
back.
Yeah.
Jesus.
But that made me think too, like, what do you do, or what are teachers expected to do when things like that happen? Like, how you have to act like a parent. Like,
And you have to try not to laugh. Like, and
right, you have
not
to try
tell your
not to
friends.
laugh.
Yes.
Right. You have to try not to laugh in the moment. You have to like make it a serious thing. You have to like then tell their parents what's going on. Like all of that sounds like a
How do
nightmare.
you sit down that kid's parents and say, "So I brought you here today because big booty hose just keeps coming up."
That's crazy. Like,
Like-
how do you even have that conversation? Because you also too, like, you don't know what this kid's parents are going to be like. Like, maybe they're not going to give a fuck. Maybe they're going to
Yeah,
laugh
that's
about
true.
it. Maybe they're going to
Usually they're going to be like, not my son.
Of course.
Yeah.
Parents are so stupid like that.
I
If you were
know.
gonna have kids, be self-aware about your kid might be an asshole. Like, or
Yeah.
it might do like fucked up shit. Like, it might start googling big booty hoes at school. Like, you have to
Yeah.
know that is
Be
a
realistic
possibility.
here.
And give these teachers a break. Another one she has, I had a parent come in ridiculously high to my first ever parent-teacher conference and practically slept the other time. And she had no bra on and some big nasty boobs.
That's sad.
That is
God.
sad
It's
and
like
feels wild.
stoned or like high.
Stoned, I guess. Like, I don't know.
Okay.
She says ridiculously high, so who knows? But I feel like that's strange. Like, she became teacher right away. So she was like 22, 23.
That's
Imagine being
scary. What
23 years
grade?
old. I want to say, I didn't ask her exactly what grade, but I know it was elementary school. I want to say like fourth or fifth.
Okay.
Pretty young. And I remember
That's young,
her
big
just
booty
being like
hoe. Look
so nervous all the time, and like, you know, to talk to these parents because it was always like sometimes the parents of the kids were, you know, they're from like impoverished areas, and it was like there was maybe this is like their kid is getting the best education in their family, so there's like all kinds of dynamic in that way, but it just spits out all kinds of interesting characters.
That makes
But-
sense why they have parent-teacher conferences, though.
Exactly,
I just
yeah.
got that. Like they
Totally.
My
Totally.
parents like never went to mine.
I don't know, my
In
parents
high
would
school,
go.
they stopped going.
High school, no. I don't
Yeah.
think I ever went to a high school one. I think they would go to like back to school night. That was like a thing where my
Yeah.
parents would go to. Somebody would have to roll through and like meet up with everybody. And she also told me this. She said, not in my room, but during a back to school night, there was a massive fight between like 10 people because of some custody shit. It happened in the middle of the pre-K room, and the cops had to be called. Like, think about that. Like, teaching children and putting your kids in school is such a controversial topic that these parents feel the need to physically fight like others. Like, it's a high stress situation. Like, something like this could happen, whether it's like the parents are divorced and they both want to come, and I feel like teachers, it's not said enough that they have to deal with family problems as well as like taking the responsibility of teaching
That's
these
true.
kids.
Yes,
That's
like,
fucking nuts
They're not
to
just
me.
teaching them information; they're also like guiding them through life.
Completely.
Yeah, because your kids go to school, like, you don't know.
I have no idea.
Done with
You put trust.
Yeah.
You put trust in the teachers.
Yeah.
You're like, oh no, they've got it. And that's mine now too. When I think back, and I'm like, oh wow, I had some like idiot fucking teachers. And I'm like, were they idiots or were they just like, it was just not, they were scared, or I was not learning well enough, or like what the hell was going on? But this, you know, sometimes though,
Yeah,
it's
the
like,
teacher-student ratio is crazy.
It's
like,
nuts.
you
It
got to
is
control
crazy.
all of them and make sure you're impacting all of them. Kind of impossible.
Yes.
completely. What about the people who had to deal with Zoom teaching? An extra shout out to those people.
Oh my god,
That's fucking crazy.
I dropped out of school because of Zoom. Like that.
I did too.
It's insane.
It's like I couldn't
How
even
do you
imagine.
discipline? Like, how do you? Because there's so many different things people could be saying. People put
How
the
do you make
pictures
learning
up.
like fun? You can't.
How do you? Keep
You really
them
can't.
entertained?
I saw, I don't know if you guys ever saw any of those TikToks that were like, whatchamacallit, the TikToks where they would show a teacher as if, like, here's my POV, you're a student in my classroom or whatever, and like my third grade classroom. And it'd be the teacher like, oh, okay. All right. Hands up. Oh, okay. And it just sounds so painful that I'm like
young
let's
kids,
just skip.
like second grade on.
Like why are we doing
little
this?
sister?
My little sister wouldn't do it.
It's
like we couldn't get her to sit down and do it because she can't learn that way.
Yeah.
And
It's not an easy way to learn.
And like you send your kids to school because you didn't go to school to teach your kids, and now the adults became the teachers almost too.
Yeah.
And it was just
exactly, which is something that like there's a reason we send our kids to school. You know what I mean? Like I'm not a
I don't know how
teacher.
to teach a kid.
Right.
that must have been brutal.
The last thing for my friend, I just scrolled down and remember she has a picture of it. A kid wrote for her friend, another teacher in school, wrote on a note, "Alex, your pussy stank," and left it on her desk. Some kid wrote this to my coworker. It means your pussy stinks. He wrote this to his teacher and left it on her desk. So when you guys are worried about, I think I was too mean by like bringing up my old teacher's like alcoholic father. No, don't worry. At least you didn't leave a note on her desk that said your pussy stinks. Like
Your
that's
pussy stinks.
mean. In like the 5th grade, 6th grade, like I don't even know that age range.
He must have
unreal.
Control.
Unreal.
the man for putting that on the desk.
Crazy. Like that's
like, yo,
so
dude, guess what I just put
mean.
on Miss D's desk?
You pussy stink.
pussy
The kids are
stink.
probably like, oh my. You're
They're like, oh Lord, like
mean by that?
Jesus Christ.
How'd you
But-
get a whiff? That's crazy.
Right? Like how? Like damn. And then
His front row?
Imagine that's you. Imagine you come in and you're like, "Fuck! Like, does my pussy
I
stink
know.
so bad that
It
these
makes you
kids
think. It's like, all right,
are
what the
telling
fuck?
me?"
Is this just a joke, or are they just try? Like, is this true?
I
Remember
literally.
when teachers would like bend down to help like a kid, and then their
Yeah.
ass would just be in your face? And
100
like,
we have
"This is
somebody.
crazy.
We have a
What
girl.
are you
We have a girl who
doing?"
called in with the voicemails about that exactly. I wanna talk about that with her. But one last thing I was thinking of, on like the creepy scale of teachers. When do teachers become kind of creepy sometimes? Like male teachers. I know like everybody always has like a crush on the gym teacher, like a crush on the student aide who's like barely out of college and you're like 16 and it's like, oh, Mr. So-and-so is so cute.
And
then,
they're never really
that cute. No.
They were just almost
You're just
age.
like a horned up teen and there's
Yeah,
like
and you're
there's
like,
like
ooh, an older
not a
teacher,
50-year-old
cute one.
teacher
Yeah.
standing in front of you. But at what point do you think that like teachers become creepy? Like what age do you start recognizing creepiness out of teachers?
Oh, okay.
I feel like late middle school, early high school.
Yeah, that
I feel
sounds
like is
about
the
right.
time where you're like, oh, this is, and I think it's also prime time for when you're feeling like awkward about yourself, like you're not
Yeah.
quite sure about how you feel. And so you think that like everybody's looking at you all the time, like including the teachers. God, I can't even imagine that. But also, what do you think about the difference between high school teachers and college teachers as far as respect? I feel like I respected my college teachers way more. 'cause
No, I
was
didn't even
like,
bring up. I have a lot of professors I loved in
Yeah.
college.
Yeah,
Right.
I loved professors.
like professors are fantastic.
Yeah.
But like, what's it? I guess the
Why
difference
wouldn't you
is
go
like
to college? Well, it's because they're like
we're paying to be there. We
they're
want to
like-
be there.
Yeah, and they're just cooler. They're
Yeah.
like, there's not that there. You can go to the bathroom when you want to. You can, you have control over it.
They're passionate about the information that they have too. Like your teachers growing up in like high school and stuff, they have like general information.
Yeah,
Right.
Your professors have like deeper information, and they're like in love with the topic, so
Yeah.
it makes it interesting. I don't know.
I'm looking up a professor salary right now.
feel like it's
Professors
like
make a shit ton of money.
MLB, like you respect MLB players more than you respect like minor league players.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a good,
It's
that's
like
a good comparison.
College, you're like, oh well, I'm getting a degree in this, so it's
Right,
fun
like
and cool.
there's something prestigious about it.
Yeah,
So
high
it's
school's
ooh,
like,
if
let's
you
all
work at a
fuck around.
college,
Yeah.
yeah, like you work here, so I must respect you. There's the range for professor in New York. The range is $82,000 a year to $270,000 a year. That seems
That
appropriate.
Starts at their stop.
Exactly.
That's
so like,
crazy.
and which arguably like, obviously being a professor is you have to go to a lot more schooling. You're
Yeah.
teaching like more advanced topics, and yeah, sure, you should be paid more for it. But I think that we're forgetting that like the most learned years you have are the years in like middle school, high school, where those teachers, like if you paid them a little bit more, I bet they'd be just as into it as the professors were.
Yeah.
But I guess how do you fix that? I feel like everybody talks about that all the time.
I
Like,
know
pay
it
teachers
is
more.
like the biggest debated topic.
You know what's something so fucking crazy I never realized until I got older is that teachers have to buy all their own shit. I had no idea.
That's fucked up.
Supplies
It is
and
fucked up,
shit's
right?
So fucked up.
I'll always, if like, whenever there's those
How
Amazon
are,
wish
like,
lists
schools
going around.
funded so much, like you
Right?
would think that there's funding somewhere.
Who's paying it? Who's paying for the schools?
It's
I don't
really
know.
Yeah, I
crazy.
don't get how that works at all.
Especially
That's
like
when I
Catholic
understand
fundraising and all
sending
that.
your kid to private school. It's like, okay,
Right.
they're going to be taken care of.
Right, always. Yeah. Because I'm fucking paying for it.
Yeah.
Like, here's the thing. And I never once thought that, like, we were missing out on supplies or missing out on anything. Like, I thought that my schooling was fantastic growing up. But I think back and I'm like, oh, yeah, it must have been stressful for these public school teachers to have to give us, like, a private school education. Like, they
Yeah.
were expected to act the way that
crazy.
a certain way because of, like, where I grew up. And all these, like, you know, fake hoity-toity people, not me, but, like, everybody else around me was like, oh, you know, blah, blah, blah. They probably should have gone to, like, private schools, but they went to my school. And we have the same education, and that's
Eat shit.
and that's it. I love when I think about that too. When people go to the same place, or the same education, and they have like totally different backgrounds growing up, and they like get the same jobs. Like we're on the same fucking spot.
I
Like
know.
you're not better than anybody else. I wanted to say one more thing about that. Oh, I had a professor one time in college, my sociology teacher. I don't remember his name, but I know exactly what he looked like so vividly. He was like bald on top, but like long hair in the back. It was like very blonde, and he was clearly like a very old hippie. He spent an entire class teaching us about conspiracy theories, and hit the theory he used as an example and like argued it in favor of the conspiracy. Like I believe that this man believes that this theory, but it was the like Bush did 9/11 thing. Like
Yeah.
he went on it. He told us all of the like evidence,
Oh my
like all the,
God.
there was one flight out of the United States that day and the Osama family or the Bin Laden family was on it and it was run by the Bush Corporation. Like he went on and on about this. And by the end of it, I was like, did Bush do 9/11? Like what the fuck?
If you can like
But it was
really tell a
crazy
good
class.
conspiracy, you got me.
Yeah.
You got me.
100%.
I'm so easily swayed.
But I thought
I'm
it
like,
was-
true. Yeah.
I thought it was such a good class because it perfectly like encapsulated what conspiracy theories were. Like the whole point of him saying that was to show like how people can fall down
Easy,
a rabbit hole and
yes.
whatever. And I was like, what a creative way to do it. And like what
Yeah.
a like a jarring
really
thing.
had
Like
you,
you brought
too.
9/11 out. Like okay,
Yeah.
I'm listening. Like
Yeah.
you have my attention. People are fucking.
That was
gross.
always
don't
one of my
remember-
favorite. Sorry, dude.
Going.
That was always one of my favorite classes was sociology. Like sociology
Yeah.
and psych. I thought it was
Always
always
so good.
interesting because
Psych
the
was hard.
teachers are really good at presenting like new information that like I never knew that you could learn about the way people act, and I
Yeah.
thought that was cool.
Right. Once you're once you're an adult and you realize you can like study other people
Yes.
for a living.
Yeah,
it's
I know.
interesting
Yeah,
to think about
that's
that.
cool.
I had a psychology class that was so bad at it. Like I don't know why, because I was so interested always. I paid crazy attention. I took so many notes, got terrible grades on every test. Like I just could not. I
Because it
think
was
I got,
like the
a C
critical
in it.
thinking part
Yeah.
where it's like it's not like facts and shit. You gotta
Right.
like think.
It was kind of. It was opposite. Like all the critical thinking stuff I was good at. It was the facts that I could never do.
Oh.
Like I could never match up the theories with the right people. And
Yeah.
I always thought I knew it. Like in conversation, I was good at talking about it, but I'm bad with tests. I could never do a good test. Could never do a good test. I could never become a professor for that reason, and I could never make a lot of money. And I still can't make a lot of money. And the problem is I'm in credit card debt. I've been in credit card debt for a long time. Thankfully, sponsoring the pod today, we have Credit Karma. What a funny thing to come through today, Credit Karma.
know,
like
what?
I don't know. I'm thrilled to have it. Credit Karma is great. I'm always on it myself, literally. I'm going to read from the things. I don't want to screw it up. It's on Credit Karma. You can check out multiple loan offers side by side. Members who compare loan offers on Credit Karma save an average of 30% on interest rates. Now, I've been told these things like my whole life about Credit Karma. Like you're not allowed to check your score a lot, otherwise it'll go up or it'll go down, whatever. None of that's true. Credit
all
Karma.
myths.
Yeah, it's all myths. You can do anything you want on Credit Karma. Like you can check yourself out. They don't want you to get stuck in a credit hole. Like they want to help you out. They are the good guys. They're fantastic. And so if you are ready to apply, head to creditkarma.com/loan offers to see personalized offers with your approval odds right now. Creditkarma.com/loan offers to find the loan for you. Apply with confidence, ladies. Apply with confidence and get that money. Get that shit.
Get that money.
I just learned that it doesn't go down.
I tried to tell you
No.
that every time you tell me I can't check my credit score.
You know
and
why?
you're
I
like,
think
no,
s-
it's you're gonna go down.
Well, I
I
had
think
to hear
someone-
from the source itself.
I think someone told our parents that was the case, and maybe it used to be the case because my dad always drilled that into me. He was
Yeah.
like, "Do not look up that shit too much. Like the more you
wouldn't
look it
even
up, the
make
more it goes down."
sense, though.
Makes no
It
sense.
doesn't make any
Because
sense.
how would you even know?
That doesn't
How would you
make
even calculate that
sense.
score
Yeah.
without checking it? It makes no sense. So shout out to Credit Karma. Thanks for coming through. We appreciate that. Do you ladies want to get into a couple voicemails?
Yeah.
All right, girls, let us get into the voicemails. I have never, I feel like I say this sometimes when we have like pop-in topics. Never have we received more voicemails than we have for teachers. I have a lot on deck. We're gonna keep it to 3 because we're running long. But thank you really to everybody. Teachers fuck you up. A lot of teachers calling in, telling their stories, and I have to tell them. I love that. Yeah, and I have to tell them too that you are not alone. So many of these stories were very similar and had this the same undertones. And it's just, again, shout out to teachers. I do not know how you fucking do it. Let us start with Zoom. Actually, no. Let's start with ass in your face. Noah, go back to that story you were saying, Grace.
Hey guys, I love the pod. I'm calling in about teachers. I was just wondering, have you guys ever had a teacher whose ass was just like always in your face? In grade 12, I had this math teacher, and he was constantly squatting down next to me. And so eventually, I just started taking like a selfie a day, me and his ass, and because I just thought it was funny. But now it's like years later, and I still get on my Snapchat memories every fall, like 5 years ago today, selfie with me and my math teacher's ass. And I know I probably sound like a pervert, but I just thought it was funny, and I feel like maybe it went too far. Anyways, let me know if you guys have ever had a teacher like that. Love the pod. Okay, bye.
I think it's completely appropriate for her to have done this. I love it. I think it's very funny. It's obviously a joke. You're not like being perverted. You're just like, oh, this man's like ass is in my face. Yeah. Like, it's just funny. And I think that that like time hop and Snapchat memories are so perfect for dumb shit like this. Yes. Like you see this and you're just like, what the fuck?
You'll never forget.
I did a pretty similar thing. My teacher, she was very silly. I want to say stupid, but that's not very nice.
She's silly.
She was stupid.
Yeah.
She was. I didn't learn any Spanish at all. She was stupid.
Damn it.
But she would tell me to put my phone away every single day.
Of course.
But she said it so often that I'm like, what if I just start recording her every time she said it? So every time she asked me to put my phone away, I was recording myself, and you could hear, Grace, put your phone away. I have like 40 clips of it, and I put it all together.
So Roz from Monsters Inc. was your teacher? Roz from Monsters Inc. was your teacher? That's so weird.
That's exactly what she sounded like.
That's exactly her voice. I think that's funny. I think sometimes like teachers get caught doing, just being embarrassing or doing embarrassing shit, and they don't mean to like do it, but whatever. Do you think that when teachers do shit like that, it's not that they're not aware of what they're doing, it's just that they just don't give a fuck? They're like, yeah, my ass is probably in this kid's face, but I gotta get this job done.
It. Why do I care?
Yeah, like I gotta get this job done.
I'm gonna have 20 more of the same kids the next class.
100%. I'm not gonna worry about my spatial awareness. I'm just gonna make sure I teach these fucking kids.
Yeah.
It's gotta be the only way. Completely over it. All right, let us go now to Zoom teaching.
Hey gals, love the podcast. It's amazing. I am calling for the tea episode. I happen to be a kindergarten teacher. Shout out to all my kindergarten teachers out there. We are a different breed of human. It is hard work. Oh my God. One of my best stories from a crazy parent is when I was teaching online last year. Shout out COVID. You really turned our work teachers. And I, every morning, would go through and say good morning to each student, and they'd have to say good morning back, and I would go down my list alphabetically by first name, and I had a mom who would get mad at me every time I did that because her child's name wasn't called first. And I explained that I was going alphabetically, and she said, well, he's losing his attention span because his last name starts with a T. And I said, what would you like me to do about that? And she goes, I don't know. And that is why parents are the hardest part of being a teacher. It's challenging. It's great. It's fun. We do it for the kids, not for those crazy ass parents. Again, love the pod. Thanks for all you do. You bring joy to a lot of us. Thanks. Bye.
I can't imagine.
That's an outrageous ass.
I cannot imagine.
What do you expect the answer is going to be?
Where is like where are the brains in these parents?
Where's
like,
your head at when you're asking that?
Where is your head? What do you truly, like she said, what would you like me to do about that? What do you expect about that? You can clearly see what's going on.
Get a new last name.
Maybe your kid needs to go to the doctor. He can't pay attention through a roll call. Go to the doctor. Get like maybe there's something wrong. You know what I mean? You gotta
like 60
figure that
seconds
out.
maximum roll call.
It's insane. And I understand maybe it's like, oh, the kid doesn't want to pay attention. Kids also in school need to learn about patience. That's a pillar
You can't just
of learning.
You can't just change the alphabetical order to make you pay attention. That doesn't make any sense.
It's fucking stupid.
You're
It's
setting
also
your child up for failure.
It's playing favorites.
Yeah, it's playing hairsies.
That to me sounds like pussification. I know that's a word that is thrown around occasionally. The pussification of America. People have been saying that. I feel like it's usually linked up with some other dumb shit. But this I will throw under the category of pussification of America.
Meanwhile,
Unbelievable.
That teacher's teaching a bunch of kindergartners
crazy.
online. And that's her ass?
She's trying to be sweet. She's trying to be cool. Say hi to everybody. Make everybody feel seen. And this bitch is coming in here being like, oh, we'll call my son first. Fuck off. No, forget it. That's on that mom. Do not feel bad about that. Let's now do Teachers' Lives. This one I like.
Hi, guys. Just want to say that I love the podcast, and I'm calling about teachers. So first off, I'm an elementary school teacher, and I just want to say how goddamn annoying it is that teachers are shamed for having a life after school. Like, why should we feel the need to not use our names on social media just out of the fear of being called out by administration, parents, or even students? Like, I feel like as long as we're good at our jobs, why should it matter if I decide to get blacked out on a Saturday night and make out with a guy at a bar? Like, I'm allowed to have a life, you know? I just think it's annoying that teachers are shamed for having lives. Like, it's not all about my classroom, you know? Okay, that's it.
It's not all about my classroom. I liked that a lot, and I like that she said that because that is true. Like, why do teachers have to be extra careful?
They're not a zombie for the rest of your life.
Right. They're not like in politics. I feel like the situations where maybe you should be careful on social media are like politics, where people can have opinions on what you do outside of your job. And maybe if you're like a lawyer or something and you just like really need to be taken seriously for XYZ, maybe they'll just like make your account private or something like that. Teachers, do whatever the fuck you want. If your kids are like catching up on your shit, it's like, all right, well, tell your kids to stay off social media. Like, how is your kid finding me on Instagram? Like, that's, you know what I mean? Like, I'm a grown adult.
Weirdo.
Manage your child.
Yeah, so your kid's kind of
What the hell is going on? And I think too, at a certain point, like when you're old enough, you know that you have to know that your teachers have lives outside of school. And I think it kind of goes back to what we were saying before about like maybe social media is like humanizing to teachers. Like maybe they'll be more respected. Maybe it'll give them a chance to like get the kids to like them for who they are, and maybe they'll respect them more in the classroom and whatever. I don't know. I think it's fucking crazy that teachers can't just go get blacked out whenever they want and post about it if they want to.
But if they did, maybe they might lose respect in the classroom from their students.
Oh,
like
you
I'm
think?
thinking like high school kids, they'd be like,
That's true too.
what did you
That's
do
fair.
this weekend?
Just be private.
Yeah.
Social media.
Yeah, be private. Yeah, I wouldn't broadcast it. Don't broadcast your life, but definitely don't feel like you can't do these things. Like
I know, they're ashamed.
If you have like a private Instagram and a private TikTok, whatever, and you are putting stuff up of your life, you're living your life, you're hoeing out, we love it, and a parent gets on you about it, be like, it's literally none of your business. Could not be less of your business.
Yeah.
It's absolutely insane. I want to do one more really quick one. Can we do hate letter to wrap it up? This is just a funny story. And Grace, it reminds me of something that you would do.
Hi, guys. My name is Sophia. I love the show. I'm calling to talk about teachers. I have a funny story from my freshman year. I had this history teacher who I hated, and he obviously didn't like me either. So one day we were taking our, like, midterm exams, and I did, like, half of the exam. And then on the back, I wrote him a letter about how much I don't like him and how I'm not learning anything in his class. And it was basically a hate letter on the back of my midterm exam. And I handed it in like that, passed the exam. Don't know why he did that. But then my mom had to go and have a meeting with him because I wrote him a hate letter. So... yeah, I love the show. Hope you get a kick out of that story. Love you guys.
I did the same thing.
Did you really?
Yeah. At the end of the year evaluations in senior year, like we were like evaluate our whole entire experience, and they were anonymous. But I wrote a huge hate letter and then wrote my name at the end of it about the teacher that I hated so much.
Yeah,
and
like,
I never
don't want to be
had
anonymous.
her. She just hated me, and we went on field trips together anyways. It was really bad.
I feel like after all
Sometimes
we've
you
heard
have
today.
to.
Right. Like after all we've heard today, I feel like Grace, that'd be a movie you would pull. I also think that that's like, as mean as that probably comes across, whatever, sometimes the teachers, they need to hear, like,
need
hey,
to know, like,
I
you're
fucking hate
fucking
you.
us up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, this sucks, and this is my way of, like, acting out and sticking up or standing up to you. I'm not gonna make a ruckus in class. I'm not gonna, like, affect other people. This is from me to you. I fucking hate you.
Yeah, I think it was really bold she did it for midterms.
It's
not
crazy.
for the end
Yeah,
of the
not
year.
That
for
is
final.
crazy. Like, not
Yeah.
wondering about, I was always so worried about failing shit like that. Like, I wish I could have had, like, a little bit of balls for something like that.
Our friend wrote her number on the back of it senior
No,
year for
no.
our history teacher that she had a crush on.
No, stop.
Yeah,
Did
we
they
were
go out of
getting
her? Did they end up
ballsies.
going out?
No, he was married, but
Fuck. Oh, okay. All right. Well, yeah, that's
she
tough.
did. She's
That's
wrote like
tough.
her number and call me on her test.
That's incredible. That's
I
incredible.
used to always just write sorry because
Apologies.
I knew I was gonna fail.
That's nice though. If you get a thing from a student and they're like sorry, it's like, oh, all right. No, they're doing their best. They're
Give it
trying.
one more point.
Oh my God. But as always, thank you everyone for calling in. They were really, really good stories. I would like to maybe at some point like bring up more stories because the teacher stuff is
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
Like teacher, I don't know how you do it. Again, commend you all day long. If you want to call in for next week, the number is 551-258-3436.
We're having a